Hey, welcome to Musings episode 229. What's going on, Scott?
Hey, it's been a crazy busy week, but it's going well. So,
Good.
as well as can be hoped for.
Yeah.
So good times. So much to cover today.
Yeah. We just we're talking before we got on there, so we're a minute late. Is brand new trailer drop from Disney for Lightyear, a new Buzz Lightyear movie. And I'll be honest with you, I'd heard about them doing this a couple years ago. I did not think I was going to care. And
Yeah.
man, it was good. Uh,
Wow. I wish we could play the trailer in its entirety, but
yeah,
it's
we can. They just send us a notice saying that we violated something, but they don't
well,
charge us
maybe
for
we'll.
anything. So
So how about this? How about this? Stay tuned, people. Let's do our ad reads,
yeah, and then we'll,
and
we'll go
then
into that real quick.
we'll violate all kinds of streaming laws.
Well, then I'm going to start us off with Lawrence, your family chiropractic center PC, located in Belleville, Michigan, and Dexter, Michigan. And they do take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient. Offering on-site digital X-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by foot level, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. Give them a call, 734-697-4244. Visit them online at lawrenceyourfamilychiropractic.com. We do have a link at Odd Music for you under our sponsors tab. And of course, right here, this is the Facebook page at Lawrence Family Chiro, and you can see some of the different services they offer, different photos, and there's a call now button. Give them a call at the 734-697-4244 number. So give them a call, check them out, especially if you're in the Southeast Michigan area. They are highly recommended by us, not just because they pay us to say that, but because of the fact that I go there and been a patient long before they were sponsoring our show. So definitely check out Lawrence Family Chiropractic Center PC.
That's right. And Team Titans of Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. Even though we utilize the latest in tools and technology to maximize your home buying experience, we never forget, at the core, it's still a people business. And that's what Jill and I do. We custom tailor everything to you. Right now, it is an interesting time for real estate. There has been a little bit of a dip here. I'm not saying crazy, like, oh my God, the sky is falling. But things were so busy, it's only natural for things to level out for a little bit. And this time of year, it's very typical for a slight slowdown. But here's where the good news is. Are you somebody who, for the past year, was trying to get a house, but you were struggling to get your offers accepted for whatever reason? There's a ton of reasons why. People were having to compete against people with insane money. People were pulling out 401k loans to have cash available. All these different things that made it very hard for the average buyer to compete. And because of that, a lot of people kind of pulled themselves out of the market. If that's you, this might be a great time to re-enter the market, because take advantage of this slight slowdown. We've got Halloween here, followed by Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's a typical slowdown. There's still people buying and selling. So if you are looking to sell, don't worry, you're not going to lose money, but it's a little bit less of this crazy extreme where people are just saying, take my money. So if that's you, if you need to buy a house and you've pulled yourself out of the market, give us a call. Our Team Titans hotline is 586-232-5144. And either Jill or I will pick up. This consultation is free. There's no cost. We try to give you the most knowledge that you can have to help you. If you need referrals for mortgage lenders, we have a number of great, awesome lenders we could refer to you if you don't have anyone that you work with. So once again, 586-232-5144.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm wondering with the slowdown is I think this is kind of typical for this time of year.
Yeah, so it's a little off right now because for about 2 years, our normal cycle was completely disrupted. It was just nonstop real estate all the time. So I did a video back in January when we started this year that the experts were saying we were going to start going back to a normal real estate cycle. So what typically happens is you have the people in the summer who are trying to move because of the school year and they want everything done. So then you get this surge going until September. And then usually September, you get a drop off because all the people who wanted to move before school, they're done. And then October, we usually get a nice little upswing again. and that lasts usually until just before Thanksgiving, and then we have another drop off until a lot of people will start saying, "I'm waiting for spring" or "I'm waiting for Easter," and then there's a lull. Now, keep in mind, people are still buying and selling real estate, and there's good reasons why you still want to list your house during that time. Because even though there are less buyers on the market, there's also less sellers on the market. So that kind of offsets. So price wise, you don't really get dinged usually, because they kind of offset each other. But so, anyways, that's the usual ups and downs of the year. So right now, we're kind of this transition where we're kind of moving back into the cyclical nature of things. So the usual bump we get in October, it doesn't feel like the bump came. It feels like it kind of dropped a little and kind of leveled out there. So we'll see where it goes. It's hard to say. Is this the start of a trend or not? But keep in mind, even if the market drops some, it has a long way to go before it's like a drop. Okay. Because we have gone so far up that even a drop in like 5%, you're still up 20. Okay. It's just a weird fluctuating time, and it's hard to tell. There's so many factors, Right. Will the current state of the economy, we have got inflation. There's real life scenarios consequences to printing unlimited money. And those consequences are either insane interest rates or insane inflation. And they're not up in the interest rates to counteract it. So that means inflation has to happen to bleed the money out of the system. Yeah. And that's what we're about to see, 50% increases in heating and all that. So the question is, will people keep up with that and everything still go as normal? Or will it cause a change in buyer habits? And that's we don't know. The answer is I don't know. Nobody knows. It's all speculation. So,
all right.
Not to bring gloom and doom. Yep. We got something hopeful here on the screen.
Yeah. Brand new from Disney Pixar. I don't care if they ding us on this one because all I just said is like, hey, you shared something that they may have violated, but don't worry, you're not in trouble because you're not monetized. So
don't worry, Disney. We're not going to send you an invoice for this airtime.
Yeah. So here's the new Disney trailer for Lightyear. Can you hear it, Scott?
I can.
Go. Vital, go. Guidance, go, bud.
Cabin pressurization is underway
as we prepare for ignition.
Here, pause it for 1 second.
Recorders are on. T-minus 5.
So just to give a quick backdrop, why does this not look like the Toy Story Buzz Lightyear that we all know?
Well, that's what I think the trailer itself explains. Is
right.
This is not Toy Story. This is Buzz Lightyear.
It's almost as
if
this
is Pixar's version of a live action story of the Buzz Lightyear origin story.
Yeah, kind of like the real life person that the toy would have been based on or something.
Correct.
So, okay. So sorry. Go ahead.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have liftoff.
There's the sky waiting in the sky. We'd like to come and meet us, I think he blow our minds. There's a star waiting in the sky. It's cold, it's not the sky. People. Let the children use it. Let the children use it. Let all the children boogie. To infinity.
And
well, I'm excited for it.
Looks great. Looks great. Yeah. Did you say Chris Evans is the voice?
Chris Evans is the voice of Lightyear. Now, of course, I'm sure Buzz is that either is a nickname or it could be his first name they're going to use, but Buzz Lightyear. Um, it definitely looks like it has some elements from the Star Command cartoon series
Mm-hmm.
way back in the day, but probably very little. I mean, they're going a whole new directions. It's got a lot of elements. The ship has a Buck Rogers feel from the old '70s series.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're using the rings, it looks like, for him to travel across the galaxy, which they use that a lot in the Buzz and the series for Buck Rogers.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I love the style. I mean, it's not easy to come up with a style that would say like, okay, these are what the toys are based on. You know, staying true to the toy design and details, but making it into these characters. I thought they did a fantastic job of it.
Yep.
I'm excited for this. I didn't know this was potentially coming out or anything. I heard, before of a possible thing, but like you, it's like, how are they going to do that? But
Well, when I heard
great.
it wasn't going to be Tim Allen, it's the only thing I heard. I didn't know it was Chris Evans till today. I just heard that it wasn't going to be Tim Allen doing the voice. I was like, well, why not? He's the voice of Buzz Lightyear. Well, now it kind of makes more sense. So now, Tim Allen's the voice of the animated Buzz Lightyear versus, even though this is technically animated, this is more of a real person, versus toy versus real person Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, so. And having Chris Evans is great in that. Well, first of all, I mean, you only hear it and
right
spoken, but I would have thought that was Tim Allen from that one word. Yeah, I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. But the nice thing with Chris Evans is, first of all, because of his role as Captain America, he has that gravitas that can be attached to Buzz Lightyear as this beacon of moral character or whatever. But also age-wise, Tim Allen's been doing the voice of Buzz Lightyear for well over 20 years, I believe.
26 years ago is when the first Toy Story came out.
So Chris Evans, if this is successful, he could be the voice of this character for another 26 years.
Yeah.
So that's really good too. So good stuff.
I'm excited. It looks great. I think the visualization is great. That's one thing about the Pixar end of these animated movies from Disney is they really go in for, the quality, and they always are finding new ways to advance the technology to make everything look. Just that initial picture of the spaceport he's taking off from to head into space was just a phenomenal shot. I love that. I love the coloring. I love the design of it. You see the look of it. You feel like you're pulled right into it immediately, which is what Pixar does. And I'm waiting to see what the actual story is more, because they always have just a solid story, and they're probably going like a lot of other ones. But I'm wondering how this fits into the Pixar that Pixar theory we talked about a few years ago on the show.
Which, the original Toy Story series, that was actually Disney by themselves.
No, that was Pixar.
That was Pixar.
Yeah, Pixar has always done the Toy Story movies. That was John Lasseter's story, and Disney was the distributor. Now, when it came to Toy Story 2, because of the agreement with Toy Story 1, Disney could have gone and created as much as they wanted Toy Story without Pixar, because they kind of had that right based on their contract. But they were able to hammer out a deal with Pixar, and then eventually Disney just outright bought Pixar.
So Disney owned Toy Story, but hired Pixar.
Well, Pixar had it, and then Disney became the distributor, and the distribution deal allowed them to have, the toys, merchandising, have all parts of that stuff, as well as rights to sequels and things like that.
Okay.
So when they announced, when Pixar said, when Disney said we want to do Toy Story 2, at the time, Pixar didn't want to do sequels. They're like, no, we just want to do one else. And Disney said, fine, we'll just do it ourselves. And Lasseter didn't want Disney to mess it up, so he went and said, okay, we'll do it. And originally it was going to be a straight to video release, because they were really big at the time in the late 90s there. And they were doing, every cartoon movie that came out or had come out, they're doing all these sequels to. That's why you had like Little Mermaid 2 and Aladdin 2 and 3 and a bunch of other ones that came out around that time. So Pixar said, well, we want to do it right. And when they started doing it, Disney was like, this is pretty good. So they expanded it from what was going to be a 66-minute video to the full-length feature they did, which ended up being, I think, 90 minutes or 100 minutes. Like that. So, but that's where that came. And then, of course, from there, they realized, we can still tell great stories. So I guess that's why we've had a new Toy Story every several years. Over the last 25 years, we've had 4 of them. But I think the last one was supposed to be the final one, which is good, because you don't want to continue that on. But now they can take the Buzz Lightyear aspect of stuff and say, hey, we got this basically a Buck Rogers type story, Flash Gordon type story. We can go and create our own new universe around that, which is what I think most people will be excited about. So,
which, I mean, it does open even the possibility of maybe a similar treatment with Woody.
Possibly they could do the Westerns. Yeah, they could do a Western. They've not done anything like that. Yeah. That would be interesting to see that if they were to do a live action, or I call it live action, but it's an animated live looking, movie around Woody. But I think Buzz Lightyear has more story.
And the style they're doing Lightyear in, it's not exact, but it kind of makes me get the same vibes as the Star Wars Clone Wars series.
Yes.
Like it's an exaggerated style, but it's intended to represent the real people. It's not supposed to be a cartoon, but it's an animation still. So I kind of get that vibe that it'll have a Clone Wars feel in a way where adults and kids will both love it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a phenomenal movie. Like I said, I'd heard about it after seeing it. I haven't seen it this morning. I was just like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And it comes out in looks like June next year, June 17th.
Nice.
Which is actually the weekend that we'll be in Vegas for the amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
But we'll be staying at South Point, so I have to go see it at South Point.
I don't even know. Am I in that one? I think.
Yeah,
I am.
you paid for a table on that.
This is like we paid 18 years ago for these tables. We're finally able to use them.
Yeah, we'll talk more about our the plan we've kind of been crafting between Kevin and I, and what and everybody going. Brandy's going, Mom's going,
and Jill may be going.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Get you and Jill out there. We'll have a great time because we'll spend a couple extra days after the show.
Exactly.
Enjoying Vegas and all that stuff. Yep. Kevin Miner, South Point. Yeah.
South Point.
And they got a movie theater, so we can go see Buzz. We can go see Lightyear.
Love it.
It'll be great. And all that fun stuff on that. So, but yeah, right now, Pete Docter is the executive producer on that, and he's done a lot of the Pixar movies over the last several years. He kind of is over the mantle of Lasseter, when John Lasseter is stepping away, in that. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be phenomenal. I haven't been this excited about some of these movies in quite a while. This is the most excited I've been in a little while for some of these new movies coming out. So.
I agree. Like right now, there's kind of a lull in movies as far like even the Marvel. I'm still not excited for Eternals. Usually by now they've released a trailer like where I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'm still not excited for Eternals. I'm reading some good things, but I'm starting to read things that aren't so good. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not. It's not grabbing me.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the Hawkeye series.
Yep,
and the Spider-Man movie.
Spider-Man's of upcoming movie. Spider-Man's the one I'm most excited for right now. I want to see the Eternals. I was going to go see it next week, Thursday, but then I forgot I already had a play scheduled. So I've got to go see that. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll see the Eternals sometime after we get back from Akron that weekend. So
that's what I mean. Like, it's not even on my radar. I forgot it comes out next week. It's like, I don't know. But this was a pleasant surprise. I didn't even know about it. Just before signing on, Brett's like, "Did you see the new trailer?" I'm like, "What?" And we played it, and then I'm like, "Holy cow! I'm excited!" Like, really, it's the first time in a while.
Yeah, Scott's not been excited about anything. I can tell you guys right now because he's like, eh.
Well, it's just like Shang-Chi. I enjoyed, but I wasn't wowed by it. Right. But there's so many things I don't know. Like Dune. Okay. Well, should we get in here? Let's do a quick update on Crimson Shadows.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. And then I'll open up an image here. So
when we ended last week on Musings, it was the final day of our Crimson Shadows campaign. And I'm excited to say it was we're very happy with the results of that. So thank you, everyone who backed it. We had 89 backers, so that's the most for Crimson Shadows up to so far. So each campaign we're growing a little bit more, and just trying to hit that point where maybe we have a breakout where we can really gain those followers. Because really, where we really need to get this is around 5,000 or more per campaign, where it's really paying for all the rewards, and we can really go kick things up to that next level for you. But we're very happy with this. So $3,900 was raised for this. This is issue 3. We're exploring our Frankenstein monster here. He starts getting into the storyline. If you missed out on this, don't worry. I'm going to be working this next week here on getting everything prepped and launch for the Indiegogo campaign. So we're going to relaunch this on Indiegogo for anybody who missed out. We found out, unfortunately, with Facebook, the way they do things, they limit the algorithm so severely. I had so many people who at Motor City were like, I didn't even know about this. And with all the posts we do, to have that number of people who were on my page and didn't even see any of the posts. So we realized we're severely limited in what people see. I tried a couple of ways of getting around their algorithms, and then I got warnings, and I was banned from posting for 24 hours for spam, even though it's people who wanted to see it. So anyways, long story short, Indiegogo, I've got the part that sucks is I have to set up a whole other campaign. It's like, oh, I have new graphics, new this. Like, oh my God, it's taken away from what I want to do. But it's to maximize the reach to you guys. So, so we'll be launching it. If you missed it, you can do that. So thank you to everyone. And while we are here, we'll give a shout out to our friends at Hasm. Roadkill Rampage 2 is on there. They are at $2,200 already, 53 backers, 23 days to go. So check them out. Hasm is great friends of ours. And Roadkill, if you didn't get Roadkill Rampage 1 yet, they have it available through their Kickstarter. So check them out.
Yeah, and they've already reached minimum funding, which means the book is coming out. So you will get the book for sure.
And like us, they have a good history of Kickstarters. So they are they follow through. They finish what they start. And
I just got their Pitter Patter the other day in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the issues ordered for that. So that showed up. That was just a couple months ago. Their Kickstarter. So they try to keep, like us. When they say the time frame they want to get it out there, they get it out there. So the books are pretty much done when they're doing their Kickstarters. So
and one last update on Crimson Shadows. Kevin is moving along on his inks for Crimson Shadows 3. They're looking phenomenal. Loving what he's doing. So we are going to be moving forward. Once he's done, I'll be sending the files off to Shara to do our flats, and then it'll be my job to do the final colors, and then Brett will do the lettering. Very happy with how it's looking, people. It's looking great. So we're doing that, and then while I'm waiting to do my colors in the meantime, I'm moving forward with Frankenstein. One of the things we're doing is utilizing the original stories of these characters as our origin stories. We're not altering those. Now there's areas where we can enhance the story, enlarge the story without changing the original. And we'll do a little bit of that so it fits the Crimson Shadows universe. But so we're going to be doing an adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I just finished reading it. People, I'm telling you, if you read this is going to be a faithful adaptation of Frankenstein. It will be the most original Frankenstein story you've read. Like only 5% of the original story is what the common person even knows. Most of the stuff that people think they know about Frankenstein never happens in the book. So we're gonna be bringing that to everybody with the original text. I think everyone's gonna love it. And we'll use our illustrations to go along with the text. But we're not altering the story at all. It'll be 100% the original. So stay tuned for that as well. So I'm starting on that now.
That'll be excellent. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. So
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's amazing that it's been around over 200 years and like no one knows the story.
Well, it's because the majority of people, because of the movie, just haven't read the books. I mean, it's come less and less people reading it, though it's readily available. You can get it in multiple versions.
Everywhere. You can get it free.
So, yeah, you can get it for free because it is public domain right now. So
in all my studying, for instance, I'll give one little fact here. Everyone thinks Frankenstein has green skin. And the reason for that is because in the book, it's actually yellow skin. He has a yellowish skin. It's like a sickly looking skin.
It's like a jaundice.
Yeah. But in the how we know it as green is because the Boris Karloff version was filmed in black and white. The makeup used, though, to show best on black and white screens was green because you wouldn't see the color. But the green picked up the shadows and highlights really well. So they used a green body paint on him so it would look great in grayscale. because there was no color.
Right.
But then years later, people started looking at the production stuff and realizing, oh, they painted him green. So everyone just started assuming Frankenstein has green skin.
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that are interesting, how they worked into the social consciousness of what Frankenstein is, even though it had no part in it.
Yeah, it's like it
So
was even everything, every iteration of that type of monster, even from all the people that did non-Universal movies, the Munsters.
yeah.
Herman Munster was green, things like that.
But he
But yeah,
started in black and white.
yeah, it was black and
So
white, so it was assumed to
right.
be from the, oh, we used green make. Oh, he must be green, and then of
Same
course
with,
that everything else. So
for instance, I met Chuck Gatica one time. Okay, he's famous weatherman in the area. He's retired now from being a weatherman, but I met him. It was at a function. He was Christian, so he was doing this thing at a church. But he had to come straight. There was a weather event, and he had to go in for a quick broadcast, and then he came straight to the event from there. He still had his TV makeup on, and he looked greenish. And he was like, "Yeah, I probably look like a monster right now because I got my TV makeup on, and it has a green tint to it."
mhm.
Because the way the intense TV lights hit them, the green somehow diffuses it so it looks more like a natural coloring on the screen. So if without it, he would look washed out. So he was explaining how TV makeup works, and even that had a greenish tint.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting, little thing like that. But
Oh yeah.
so, anyways, thank you everyone for sponsoring Crimson Shadows.
Yeah, and you can go to bardstone.com. There is a QR code you can scan with your phone right there on the screen, and you can sign up for our newsletter. That's the best way to follow us for upcoming Kickstarters, and that's how we'll be promoting it at all our appearances, is just sign up to follow us so we can do it that way, because Facebook is becoming more and more unreliable.
Yeah, it is. They can cancel you like that.
Yep, and a little sidebar, did you hear that they're changing their corporate name?
Yes, Metaverse.
Yeah. So, but it's
I thought
funny.
that was like the Flash isn't that the Metaverse or something?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but I just thought it was funny. And then because everybody's like, "Oh my God, Facebook's going to change its name. Why is it not going to be called Facebook anymore?" Nope, Facebook the app is staying the same. So,
Well, my understanding though is there is an actual reason they're changing the name. My understanding is there's actually a lot of lawsuits against Facebook, so they are changing the corporate. This has to do with legalities, I believe, to avoid certain lawsuits. So they're trying to create it as a new legal entity. The brand name will still be Facebook that we see, but the legal entity behind it is going to change. There's some interesting stuff there. I can't talk about on air, but
yeah, there's a lot of different corporations that do that, though. Things that you know as one corporation are actually known as something else in a corporate name, but we know them as their either the item name or like this, or an app name or something like that.
General Motors is a great example. General Motors died during the Obama years. They killed it, and they reissued it as a new. The old name, General, I forget which one. One was General Motors Corporation, and one was like General Motors America or something like that. Anyways, the government, when they did the bailout, actually killed the old stock so that they could get out of paying all the old debts. They screwed all the debtors over. Came out with a new name. They became a new legal entity, but they kept the GM initials and logo for the branding, but legally they were a whole new entity. Yeah. So those old lawsuits, those old debts didn't apply to the new company. Right. So that's kind of what I think Facebook is doing.
Oh, here. No, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is.
And
it's all a corporate restructuring to avoid certain things, and they're gonna be allowed to do it because it's them right now. So,
which is interesting because the old Facebook is part of, for instance, the Trump lawsuit, because they banned them. Since they announced the name change, Trump's website is live on Facebook, so they reactivated him. So
there's some things that are happening on that. I saw that too, where he's reactivated, and it was happened right after they announced. It was right after the whistleblower from Facebook, and then they announced the corporate name or the corporate change and splitting it off, and where it becomes Facebook is now a product, and Facebook is no longer a corporation. So it changes a lot of things for them on that. So I'll be interested in that. Right. But speaking of products, let's talk a little bit here, because I know Scott wasn't crazy about it, but I enjoyed it. Is the new movie Dune?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to give you this. This is what I told Scott last night. Dune has always been something that you either like it or you don't. There's no in between on this. It's just like Blade Runner it's like it's that kind of pacing. I've always enjoyed the movies. I've tried to read the books years ago. I may try it again someday, but it's a long book, the first one, but it's a multi-series, been out for decades. So there is a lot of the story there. I find it's more of a political thriller than just a sci-fi thing, but it's tied around a sci-fi aspect. And I found it really good. My spoiler warning for this, because you find it's not the very first second the name comes up, is this is part 1. And I didn't know that going into this, that they had not done the entire story like you had in the early 80s movie or even in the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries. But it is part 1. And so, but they just got greenlit yesterday for part 2.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's the one thing about this is it's kind of a, in a lot of ways, it's taken liberties with different things, including even the Christ story a little bit. This is kind of a, the return of Christ in some ways, but it's tied into prophecies and things like that. Cause he wasn't, it's kind of an interesting take on what they're trying to do there. So, but I liked all the actors in this. The acting on this was phenomenal.
Yeah. For me, I'll give my quick spoiler free. So to be fair to Dune, I've never been a fan of Dune. I just, for whatever, it's like Blade Runner. Visually, I absolutely love Blade Runner. It's just, but when it comes to story, for me, it drags too long, and there's nothing about the characters that make me care about the characters. Mm-hmm. So the world is gorgeous. I love looking at the art. I like looking at still shots from the movie. Everything about it I love, except the story. Just because there's nothing about that grabs me. And this is the same with Dune. Now, if you love Dune, that's great. I'm not saying Dune in and of itself is a bad thing. It's just, it's not for me. That the pacing was very similar to Blade Runner. It's very slow, methodical. But there's other movies out there that are very slow and methodical that I love, because to me, they make me like the characters. This, like, everyone is just sad and dour, and like, even in the worst wars, you'll have somebody in real life who will be joking or telling there's somebody to break the levity of the situation. There's none of that seems to happen here. Jason Momoa's character seems to be a little bit, but I think that's because Jason Momoa doesn't know how to act. So he just is always the same guy, no matter what he plays. So don't get me wrong. I enjoy his character, but like I said, he can't act. I've never seen him play anything other than who he is. He's just, he could have jumped out as Aquaman in this movie and been the same character in a flight suit. It's the same guy. So, but anyways, so he was the only bright spot to me, was his appearance. It just, I don't know. Like, there's just like, I did like the line where he tells Thrawn over there to smile, and or Thanos, I mean, he tells Thanos to smile, and he's like, I am smiling. That's part of the problem too with that character. His voice has become so iconic to Thanos, I don't even identify it. It's the actor anymore. It's like, oh, it's Thanos.
Oh, it's Josh Brolin from Goonies, man.
I don't know. I don't see it anymore. He's changed so much. I liked it.
Yeah,
visually beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful.
And like I said, it was just, I thought they captured the story well for what it is. I was watching this thing, and I'm sitting there going, I looked at the time because I hadn't paid attention. I was like, oh man, this has got to be getting close to the end, and I knew where they were in the story. I was like, yeah, because I said part 1, so I said, okay, so now I know where they're going with this. So, but I was like, and I had to look real quick when it ended. I was like, did they get greenlit? At the time when I watched it a week ago, they had last week it was not greenlit.
Yeah, I think
but it said yesterday was. Yeah. And the movie didn't do like huge on the box office. It did about 40 million, but it's done well over international already. Yeah. And then I ended up watching it on HBO because I just had so much going on. I just wasn't going to be able to get to the movies. So I ended up watching it on HBO, and I definitely would have enjoyed it in the big screen as well. The time went by fast for me. Yeah. I enjoyed it, but knowing the story from the movie, I remember the early 80s movie. I always liked it. Yeah. I've watched it a bunch of times over the years. And like Blade Runner, as much as I enjoy it, it's not something I can revisit even annually. So it's like I'll get an interest to see it, and I'll watch it.
To me, I felt like I was watching a Zack Snyder movie. They had beautiful scenes. They had.
I feel like Zack Snyder got a lot of his filming element from watching the original Dune.
Yeah,
This one, I think done better because it's got a little bit better budget. The thing they did different on a couple of things was they talk about the spice. You have to. The reason everybody is on the planet is because of the spice there that allows international travel or interstellar travel as well as other things. Right. The original movie talked about, and again, I haven't read the books, so I can't go by how much they changed, but original one talked about these. They showed like these creatures that basically go up and take the spice and then transport the ship, basically folding space. They didn't get into all the aspects of that like they did in the first movie, the original movie back in the 80s. But they had this like cone shaped thing, and then out of that came these giant ships. So the cone is like huge, but that's what they used to actually travel interstellar and using the spice. So.
I like, for me, where the Zack Snyder element comes in, and I feel like with Zack Snyder, he does a great job with the dots of the story, the plot points, and he creates this epic scene, and it unfolds. It's the connecting of the dots that he falls apart, and that's how I felt with this watching it, where I'm watching it and there's a cool scene, but then I just feel it's like clunky, like there's no flow or transition to the next, and I feel like it's missing the content between the points. So I almost feel like it was more watching an outline.
I think that's what a lot of Dune ends up being, because the book is quite long. And I think that to translate, I mean, the most true one I've heard has been the miniseries that Sci-Fi Channel did.
Heard a lot of people like that one.
So, that was back when Sci-Fi Channel was actually doing original movies, and most of them they were low budget, but they were good. So and that's where I think the thing is going. But if I say this, if you like the original one, or even if you like the Dune miniseries, it came out in 2000. I just pulled it up here. Then I would definitely check this out. Go see it in the theater if you can, or HBO, whichever way you want to do it.
I agree.
The original miniseries was about 4.5 hours long, and they came out in 2000. And again, it's lower budget, things like that, but it captured more of the original story.
Well, and this is only half the story, and it's almost 3 hours. So this will probably have longer runtime than the miniseries. So they'll have more ability to show things.
Yeah, and depending on how they're actually telling the story here. I mean, we've just reached a point at the end where I felt it was more of the midway point. Some people are saying, it's like 2/3 of the book, but I think they'll probably go back and incorporate some other stuff and try to tell different storytelling to move things in a different way than the book itself does. But definitely I say recommend it if you like it. If you don't like these type of movies, then just don't go see it. It's the easy way to put it. So.
Well, that's it. If you like the Blade Runners and those, I think you'll love this. Like I said, cinematography wise, gorgeous. The outfits were very well done. The actors, I think, are very well cast.
Yeah,
I think everyone does a phenomenal job. For me, it's just the story itself is just losing me.
Right now, Timothy Chalamet is the when it plays. He plays the main character. He plays Paul Atreides. He's been around for a while. I was looking up his stuff here, and he's been in some TV shows, a lot of movies. He did Royal Pains, Homeland, Trooper. Popping up, he was in that Lady Bird movie that came out a few years ago. I got a lot of reviews and that, a lot of independent stuff. But he's going to be in the new Wonka movie I just heard about recently. He plays Willy Wonka, and they're doing a new version where it's you see young Willy Wonka as he's and how he meets the Oompa Loompas and everything else. And basically, I think it's taking place during that time when supposedly Wonka had closed the factory and left and was traveling. So it's going to be probably a fantasy type movie, which sounds kind of interesting to see on that. So I've always liked the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie, and the book itself is really good too. And I think it lends to maybe creating a whole new genre within the Willy Wonka universe. So
nice.
So I think it'd be good. He's got that thin frame, so I think he'll pull it off pretty good. And I think he's going to go more of a Gene Wilder versus what what's his name did.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, yep. So because I didn't care for the Johnny Depp one at all.
Yeah, it was definitely different. I didn't mind it, but I preferred the original. I mean, they definitely got some elements different in that one.
The book is different, so
right.
I mean, the book is different than the Gene Wilder one. Like they didn't have the golden gooses in the book; it was the squirrels. So they did that in the Johnny Depp one. Johnny Depp was trying to be more of a translator. I just didn't like the way he portrayed.
Was his dad in the books being a dentist?
Something like that.
They had Christopher Lee playing his dad.
It wasn't just the mom and grandparents and everything else. I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, the original Gene Wilder one was musical, and Roald Dahl was on set for that, so he did approve of that movie the way it was
Yeah.
done. So he had a huge history of working in the entertainment industry. Besides writing books like he did for all those years, he created the Gremlins that Disney had done in the 40s.
Oh, okay.
So,
Nice.
but yeah, so I guess that's on that guy in Dune. So,
And then another series is Lock and Key.
yeah, I actually
Is out
finished
on
it
Netflix.
last night. So,
Did you? So
yeah,
I
watching just
I-
a couple a day goes fast. So,
I watched 1.5 episodes, so I'm halfway through episode 2.
Mhm.
So I started watching that last night since I knew we were going to talk about it a little bit. So far, I'm liking it. You know, I don't know if people, season 1. This is based on a comic book series.
Yep, IDW put out Lock and Key over the years, and
so it's an interesting story using these magical keys that are in this house, and they're in season 2 so far. It's expanding. Now, you said you finished it.
I did.
Okay.
The arc is very good. But of course, they're setting up for the next season because it's probably going to be greenlit. It hasn't already, and I think it was several graphic novels, comic books into graphic novels. It looks like 37 total issues so far. Because I think they've come out a couple of things since they ended the series, just that deal with the history in that. So
Yeah. So, what spoiler for your review? What do you think?
I liked it. I enjoyed the first season. I think a little bit more. The second season, I felt it was good, but it seemed to drag on a lot of some elements through the middle a little too much. And I think a lot of it is they're trying not to go too far past a certain point in the story this season, knowing they've got a lot more story they can tell later on. And they did a lot of detail, but I think everything they did though was kind of important to set up elements that'll happen in the next season. There's things that we deal with the main 3 characters we see there, the siblings, the Locke siblings. And then we learn more about their uncle, the mother's around a lot more. And then we learn more about different students and kids and adults in the town around there. And we're learning through this whole series that there is a very deep, long history of them in this town. So,
Okay. Yeah, I like so far. In season 1, they introduced the concept that for some reason adults can't remember magic. I like that they're starting to explore that aspect. I don't know how far they go with it, but I'm like I said, I'm only halfway through episode 2, but they're starting to explore that process, which I thought was interesting. The main villains, the Echo, I didn't care for her much in season 1. I don't know. I think in season 2, though, the way they're that guy, that the body, I don't know if she's in or shapeshifted, whatever it is. I'm liking that portrayal better.
mm-hmm.
And how, some of the acts that they do, like in the movie theater with the popcorn guy. I thought that was interesting. So I'm curious to see where this goes.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I enjoyed it. I definitely recommend this series. It's one of the things that just came out, so don't want to give too many details because people haven't had a chance to watch it and get into it. But it's interesting. I've always found this interesting mythology with the keys and how they work and what you can do with them. Things like that to be kind of neat. And so we'll learn a lot more. And I think we're going to see a lot more in the 3rd season, going even deeper into the whole Locke family history, which will be interesting.
They'll have to move quick because that little kid's going to go through his growth spurt soon, and he'll look like 10 years older over one summer.
Yeah. He was looking. Actually, I felt he looks older as the whole season went on. So
yeah,
you notice a little bit here and there, but he's definitely going to be the next time they do this, or if they haven't, whenever they film it, it's gonna. He's definitely going to age up, pretty good. So
maybe they'll find a growth key to explain it.
Yeah. Well, they have keys just for everything, it feels like. So,
yep. So good stuff there. Upcoming stuff for us. So we got Akron coming up in a week and a half, I think. Right?
Yeah, week and a half. We'll be heading down for that. Next week we're going to have Rodney on from Haslam, but I'm looking forward to Akron. We get a chance to hang out with Vinny and Lisa. I don't know if Rodney and Everybody in them are going to be there or not. I
Sean.
know Sean's not. Sean
Sean's
Forney's
not?
not
Okay.
going to be, only because they've had so much going on with. Well, he's just got work. He's got tons of great cover work he's doing and things like that. So they've got a lot of cool things going on there. So, but we'll see
Yeah.
Dan Gorman and his staff.
Yeah, I haven't
The
seen Dan
original
in 2 years
Mike should
now.
come out. Yeah.
I
And
think 2
Michael,
years.
who helped found the original Akron Comic Con, should come out for a visit.
Yep.
He usually does, and look forward to seeing him. And then everybody else that comes out there. And there's a lot of fans that we only see at that show. So looking forward to having all the new stuff there, so they can see that.
Yeah.
So
We always love doing that show.
yeah, it'll be
times.
fun. And interesting is it's time change weekend that weekend, so
Mhm.
we'll have an extra hour in between. So
Which means I'll wake up extra early Sunday.
yeah.
No,
Well,
wait.
we'll try to keep you up late
Yeah.
on Saturday. So I was talking with Vinny and Lisa when we were there. We'll show gets out like at 6 on Saturday. We'll all probably do dinner.
Yep.
Head back to the hotel, and we'll probably do like we did a couple years ago. I had a little fun game night, so we'll just kind of hang out in the lobby.
That's where we played Blockus, whatever
Yep.
it is.
We'll do that. I was thinking I need to bring 5 Crowns, which is a great fun card game,
Mhm.
and which they played with us in Indiana when they were visiting.
Maybe we
with,
can
Kevin
get
and Bernie, so.
Vinny to draw another masterpiece.
I don't know. I gotta have a bigger group, I think, for that drink and draw type thing we were doing then. So, but we'll see if he wants to do another masterpiece on that. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should be a fun show. That's your last show for the year.
Yes.
And then as long as it still happens, they have an invoice. And if they keep saying it's happening, Kevin and I will be in Indiana, or not Indiana, but San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah, they're taking forever. I'm sitting there going, 2 weeks ago we got, hey, you're in. Great. We'll invoice you. Great. Where's the invoice?
Odd. I think it's odd the way they're handling it.
Yeah. But they've got tickets, I think, are still. So if you're anybody out in the West Coast or want to come out to the West Coast and think about want to come to San Diego Comic Con and you've never been able to go before, this may be your best opportunity. And they got hotel blocks up, and the hotels aren't bad. They said I got an email from, it looked like an outside source, but a lot of rooms for under $200 a night, right near downtown there. So definitely things to go there. So
here's their website.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I actually looked at it this morning and I checked in my login and there's nothing there. So they're still showing it, San Diego Comic Convention, so special edition.
Yeah, they're still doing it, so we'll see.
So they just haven't updated it in a few weeks, and I think a lot of it's just they're getting their logistics down, but it's because it's kind of being rushed a little bit. So, and they may be still waiting to see what big name studios or anything else they can try to get in there too. So,
yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to being out there again. I like San Diego and Hash House a Go-Go.
They're good. They're good.
Yes.
And the San Diego one is the original.
Yes. Yes. So look forward to that. We'll probably hit that on. We're talking about hitting that on Monday because I don't come home until Tuesday after the weekend. Yeah. So, which is I think a good thing considering the fact that it's just they're expecting travel to be pretty heavy through Thanksgiving weekend. So that's gonna come up pretty quick too. Is Thanksgiving. So what we got?
I know that's really
4 weeks from Thursday. 25th. It's funny. It's gonna be the 25th of November. Then we have exactly 1 month until Christmas after that. So a lot of holiday stuff going to come up pretty quick for everybody. So
yeah. So for upcoming movies, we got Eternals right around the corner.
Yep.
I don't know a lot of these movies though are supposedly coming out.
Yeah.
Like none of these look familiar. Oh, Clifford's coming out.
Yeah, problem with them listing movies is a majority of it, and Ghostbusters. Actually, Ghostbusters is probably the one I'm really looking forward to next. I keep forgetting about it because they kept delaying it. So definitely looking forward to Ghostbusters, and that's like in 2 weeks.
November 19th.
Yeah.
Is what this site's saying.
So it'd be probably a Thursday night preview the week before Thanksgiving. So
yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yep. And then a lot of stuff, when I look at these sites, it's like, oh, here's all these movies coming up, and then you find out like 95% of them are going to be online. So
yeah, I wish they would separate them out. Resident Evil will be interesting because they're taking the approach of the original games.
Yeah,
there's that Incantado.
Yeah, that kind of just popped out of nowhere the last few weeks, and I haven't seen much on it other than a poster. It reminds me a little bit of Coco.
Yeah.
So
let's see, The Humans. Not sure what that is. And then let's look at December real quick. Right. Like once again, like a lot of these, I don't know what this is. West Side Story?
it's a lot. I think it's still a lot of just streaming. So many they've now started putting the movies are going to be streaming. They'll put them in a theater in New York and
Now,
LA
this says it's
just so they
directed
can
by.
get considerations.
This says directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, he remade West Side Story. That's coming out.
Oh, I didn't know
Yep, not excited. Don't care.
that. And then December 17th is Spider-Man No Way Home. Where's that Last Night in Soho? I was looking forward to that. There's the Kingsman. I don't know if I'm going to see this one. I don't know.
It looks good. I think it's the origin of the Kingsman,
Yeah.
and so it's a whole different story dealing with Ray Fiennes. It looks good.
Ray Fiennes. So this is the origin of how he became M in the James Bond series.
Yeah, that's how he became Voldemort. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then one that comes out Christmas Day, I think it looks is the American Underdog. It's got you scroll down a little bit more for that. Right there, the Kurt Warner story.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. And Zachary Levi plays Kurt Warner. I could see that. Sing 2, that's the one Emily is excited for. She can't wait for Sing 2.
Oh yeah, I took Mom to see the first one. She saw the second one's coming out, so we'll probably go see that.
Yeah.
It's a fun animated movie. So
here we go, Cyrano de Bergerac. You got Tyrion Lannister in there.
Okay, Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, that'll make. Okay, I'll be interested to see that one.
Yeah, I didn't know that was coming out. That's the first time I've seen anything on that. It's end of the year too, so New Year's Eve.
This will be really our first time seeing Peter Dinklage since Game of Thrones, I believe. I'm sure he was in. Oh, he was in. What was it? The one Netflix movie there where she's killing off the people in the nursing homes.
Oh yeah. I forget that one. Yeah,
she was in.
He's done other movies in between. He did that Knights of the Badassdom or something like that, and that was like a horror film at LARPing, and then he had the train terminal or something, train station, which was really good. So,
here's Matrix. I passed it by because the poster is just the red and blue. December 24th, The Matrix comes out, so I'll be seeing that one.
Yeah, I'll probably go see that one too. So
I'm really hoping they link it to the John Wick series, but I don't think they are. But to me, that's the only thing that makes sense for John Wick to even be plausible is if it's actually in the Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. They do have a movie coming out in a couple weeks. It's a new Will Smith movie on the 19th, and it's about King what's the name? It's basically the King Williams or it's the
19th of November.
Yeah, it is the story of Serena and Venus Williams, their dad mainly, dealing with him, and Will Smith plays the dad. And King Richard, yeah, and how he crafted and made Venus and Serena be the best they are in the world.
Ah, interesting.
They'll be on HBO Max as well as in the theaters too. So I just saw something on that just a couple of days ago, and again, another one that hadn't really heard much about, and all of a sudden it just pops up.
Yeah.
So
I think too with the whole COVID and stuff, I think a lot of this got lost on the radar. Like we weren't following movies like we were. And so I think a lot of stuff got made without people noticing.
Right. Especially in the last year, as they've gotten back into filming, they're starting to crank stuff out. So
they've been advertising this House of Gucci like crazy.
Yeah, I don't.
Looks like a great cast, but it's just not grabbing me. It's not my kind of.
No,
it's all. I watch it. It's all these Italians in there, and I just feel like I'm at a family gathering. So it's like, do I want to pay for this? I can just go hang out with my family.
Well, you pay at the movies or you pay at home, whichever way you want to go there, Scott.
A lot of them, like hearing them talk and their mannerisms, it just reminds me growing up. It's like, do I want to revisit that?
Yeah.
But so there we have it.
Yeah, so we got a few things coming out that look good, but definitely Ghostbusters is the one I'm looking forward to the most right now. Yeah. And then a couple things that Spider-Man at Christmas time and a couple other movies. So I don't know, but it sounds like I might be spending a little time at the movies at Christmas time around that couple weeks there as new stuff's coming out. So it'll be a lot of fun. So, but hey, a lot of fun this week. Next week we got Rodney from Hasm talking about their new Kickstarter. So definitely join us next week live 10 a.m. and we'll have them on and have a lot of fun with that one there. And of course, follow us at bardstone.com for all our upcoming Kickstarters and fun stuff there. So we'll see you all next week.